Okay, so we have tonight a special teaching from the Meor Einayim on parshat Vayetzei. Okay, this week's parsha. We learn about Yakovs Avinu. And Yakovs Avinu, so what's special about Yakovs Avinu is that of all the forefathers, so he is, there's something interesting about Chassidus, that I think in like non-Chassidus Judaism, so there's a bit of a focus on like the way it's supposed to be, and if you're not up to par with the way it's supposed to be, then you're kicked out of yeshiva, or get your act together, and like you're just off. And I think it's very special in Chassidus that it's all about what to do when things aren't exactly the way you would like them to be. It's all about what to do when you don't see God, you don't feel connected, and like in Chassidus, like everything is about that. But so in everything in Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, it's all about how to find God even when God is not so evident. But of all of them, so Yaakov is like, that is what he represents. Like Yaakov, that, like for example, in this week's parsha we learn that Yaakov was the first one to start the concept of davening Ma'ariv. Okay, he introduced the prayer of Ma'ariv, and Ma'ariv is the prayer of night. Something just happened. So what that represents is like night represents when you don't see clarity, when things seem distant, when things seem messed up. So Yaakov Avinu, he represents that, like what to do when you feel like you're lost. Okay, so this is like of all the parashas to talk about what to do when you're lost. So this is the most important one, and he has a very interesting teaching of like what to do when you've really, really, really messed up. Okay, what to do, like how to lighten up the darkness, how to lighten up the night. And this is obviously part of the introduction to the winter, that here in Israel it just started raining heavily for the first time today. And so we're really like deep into the darkness of the winter, and this is exactly what the holiday of Hanukkah is all about, of how to light up the night. And Sisi, my class about the month of Kislev that we had on Wednesday night, so Nachman of Chernobyl really talks about tonight about how to really deal with falling, how to deal with darkness, and how Yaakov Avinu really teaches us how to manage when things don't go so easy. So of course, this tonight's learning should be a merit for all of our soldiers, and especially Chaim Zalek Ben Dina, and I just got a new one, Meor Ben Arna. There's some program of adopt a soldier that I signed up for. Yeah, Meor Ben Arna. So the best would be if like one day I meet him and like randomly, are you near? So Nir, we're with you, and all of the soldiers, and of course it should be a schos for Essence of Golda, that his vision should be improved. I happen to think that it's actually working. I don't know, like with my son. That I told you the story about why we started learning Meor Einayim. That it's supposed to have a spiritual effect on eyesight, and I think that his eyesight is a little bit improving, and he's able to see and see more. Yeah, B'ezrat Hashem, he should have a full refuah shlema. And there should be really a real siyata d'shmaya for all of our soldiers, and we should have a real hatzlacha defeating all of our enemies until there's none of them left. B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, so Vayetzei Yakov me be'er shava, vayelech harana. So Rav Nachum teaches us that there's a Gemara that says, Ba chavakuk v'hemidan al achas. So the context of the Gemara is that it says in Gemara that there were different prophets that over the years that they wanted to make the 613 mitzvahs. Like Judaism is very, very complicated. It's very, very complex, and they wanted to bring it down. That it should be more palatable. So really, if I tell you like there's only 613 mitzvahs, it sounds like a little bit overwhelming. By the way, the Yakovs History made a book called I forgot exactly what he called it. Something like Sefer Mitzvahs of something. I don't remember exactly what he called it, but he noted that basically almost all of the mitzvahs are not so relevant today, because like so many of them are relevant to the Beit HaMikdash, about the sacrifices, and so many of them are relevant to purity and impurity, which are not relevant today. And so he basically summarized that there's about 60 mitzvot which are relevant today. So that's pretty doable, like you tell somebody that's just 60. So, but like back in the day, there were those like David HaMelech. So he put it that there's 15. There's 15 things which are the principles on which Judaism is built. Then Amos put it on 5, and then Chavakuk said there's only one thing, that everything else depends on that. Tzaddik be'emunasa yechya. That tzaddik lives with emunah. That emunah, faith is the fundamental thing. If you have emunah, then you've got everything. If you don't have emunah, you've got nothing. Okay, so if you want to focus on one thing, what is the one thing that can make your relationship to Judaism more meaningful? So it's absolutely emunah. Okay, the more that we have faith, and so he explains that there's two kinds of emunah. There's two kinds of emunah, and it's very, very critical. There's emunah in Hashem. There's emunah in Hashem, and the second kind of emunah that he says is very amazing the way he says it. Like usually in Rabbi Nachman's world, but it's really the same thing. In Rabbi Nachman's world, so I say this many times that when Rabbi Nachman came to Rabbi Nachman, so he said, "No, what do you want from me?" So he said, I want to learn to believe in Hashem. So Rabbi Nachman told him that, no, Nachman, you already believe in Hashem. I need to teach you to believe in yourself. Okay? So that's not what Rabbi Nachman says. Rabbi Nachman says that there's two kinds of emunah. One is emunah in Hashem, and the other one is emunah's chachamim. What's it mean, emunah's chachamim? Emunah means to believe. Chachamim means the sages. Okay, to believe in the sages. But what's really, really amazing is that the truth is that it's one and the same. Because what's the problem? What is the reason why we have trouble believing in Chachamim is because this is like every I don't know what to call them. Like I won't call them Reform, but like because Reform don't believe in the Torah itself either. But like a lot of people who have, I don't know. The truth is that I've had a lot of students that this is their struggle, that they're okay with what it says in the Torah, but they're not okay with what it says from the rabbis. And what's the problem with the rabbis? Because there's a broken telephone. Because like at the end of the day, it's a bunch of men. I always hear that. It's a bunch of men deciding that this is the way they would like the world to look, and like they're just human beings. That's the point. The problem is that they're just human beings. So why should I believe them? Why should I trust them? Why should I accept them? They're just human beings. Okay? And they're men. And so the truth is that Emunah's Chachamim is really the struggle of Emunah's Chachamim is actually Emunah Ba'atzmi. The same thing that Rabbi Nachman taught Rabbi Nassim, that the more that it's not enough to have Emunah in Hashem, you have to believe in yourself. So part of believing in yourself is Emunah Chachamim, because the truth is that when we're believing in Chachamim, so what are we really saying? That there's something amazing to human beings. That human beings are able to reach this level of connection, are able to reach this level of perfection. That God is able to speak through them. And that the truth is that I need to believe in myself. I need to trust myself. I need to trust myself by understanding that God can speak through me. And the same way that God can speak through me. So if you have another person who's a sage, who's a pious person, who's a righteous person, so he's becoming very close to God. So I can believe that God is going to speak through him. So there's two kinds of emunah. Emunah in Hashem and emunah in Chachamim. And this is referred to in the Torah. It says in the story of the splitting of the Red Sea. So it says, Vayaminu b'Hashem u'v'Moshe avdei. And that as a result of the splitting of the Red Sea, so they believed in Hashem and they believed in Moshe, his servant. Okay, so why does it say they believed in God and they believed in Moshe, his servant? So it says this because it's through their belief in Moshe that they were able to come to believe in Hashem. Okay, or in other words, that sometimes that to believe in God is a little bit overwhelming. To believe in God is a little bit like, how am I supposed to connect with God? He's so distant. Like, what do I know about God? Like, God, like, I'm not smart enough to understand like the logical physics kind of proofs to God. I'm not so spiritual that I feel God. So God, yeah, maybe not, but you can still connect with tzaddikim. Meaning that I see, this is something very amazing, that I think that for a lot of people that are distant from God, so a way to get them close to God is for them to meet tzaddikim. Because, and this is for two reasons. First of all, that when you see a really righteous person, that person that is really just a person to behold, a person that's just amazing, a person that just impresses you in every way. That how could you be so humble? How could you be so giving? How could you be so selfless? How could you be so connected? How could you just I see the spirituality, and you feel like, wow, so how did he get to that? How did he get to that? So, well, he got to that because he's an Orthodox Jew. He got to that by following the mitzvahs. He got to that by so I guess it works. I guess that's number one. Number two, and this is okay, it's reconnecting again. Number two is that there are tzaddikim. I don't know. I really don't know about if there's tzaddikim alive today like this, but there were tzaddikim alive like during my lifetime that had clear Ruach HaKodesh, that they had clear divine inspiration, that they were able to know things, that there's no way possible that it's like there's no human way that they could have known these things. And these are people like the Baba Sali, these are people like the Stipler, these are people like the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that people that would come to them on a regular basis, he would just they would just tell them things like that, like things that it's not humanly possible that they should know these things, and and that's something amazing. That's something that you can. The fact that they have supernatural knowledge, proves that there is something more than meets the eye. And so then we ask ourselves, okay, so how did they get that? Not from the place of I want to be like that, even though it might be that you want to be like that. I'm not Xing. I'm not canceling anybody that wants to reach Ruach HaKodesh. I think it's a beautiful thing to want to achieve Ruach HaKodesh. I don't know if you ever saw that in you're Ashkenazi or Sephardi? Ashkenazi. So in Ashkenazi machzors on Rosh Hashanah, so there's a place in Kedusha where it says that when the Chazan says Ayeh in Kedusha, so this is the time, there's an opportune time to pray for one of three things. Ever saw this? Never saw this? You're Sephardi?
No, Ashkenazi.
So I don't know, you have to get a new machzor. Okay, so in all the machzors it says, the good machzors, it says, so I don't know if it says in article, but in a lot of machzors it says that when the Chazan comes to in Kedusha, when it says Ayeh, so then that's an opportune time to daven for three things, one of three things, either for Ruach HaKodesh, or for amazing wealth, or for righteous children. Okay, so I as a responsible parent, so I always think the most important thing is that I should have righteous children, and I'll do without having divine inspiration. But every once in a while, I think to myself. So the truth is, a friend of mine said, well, there's three times we say kedusha, so you can divide it. Okay, but no, I really just want righteous children, and I don't need to be extremely wealthy. I don't need divine inspiration. But I always the thought tickles me every once in a while. I play with the idea. Wouldn't it be nice to have divine inspiration? If somebody says Rabbi, where's my future husband? I said, oh, he's actually in Chicago right now. Go here. Go take take a go and say hello to the first person you meet, and then you'll get married. Like that. It would be cute. It would be that. It would be sweet. But so it is beautiful to have Ruach HaKodesh. But I think the more important thing to us is the more takeaway from this is that if these people actually achieve supernatural powers, so then we should ask ourselves, like, how did they get there? And the way they got there is by following the Torah. So this to me, like on a personal level, this to me is something that legitimizes Torah. That if it really works to the level that it brings you to, we spoke on a couple of weeks ago about Sufism. You hear for that? That there's the Sufi kinds of meditation that they're able to reach to also like achieve like these like supernatural kinds of trances, that they're able to put daggers into their heads, and they're able to put knives into their cheeks, and they're able to, and like I'm thinking to myself, like, whoop-de-doo, like, good, I'm so proud of you. Because of your Sufi meditation, you were able to put a dagger in your head. You know, like, maybe, it would be better if when you come to a higher revelation, that you should put a dagger into your other Muslims' heads. That would be make the world into a better place. You know, our tzaddikim, when they come to a high spiritual plane, you know what they do? So they help people get married, and they help people have children, and they help people get jobs. And they're like, our tzaddikim, when they reach spiritual levels, they actually make the world into a better place. And your tzaddikim, what do your tzaddikim do? They put daggers into their heads. Like, what does that say about your meditation? What does that say about your spirituality? Okay, like it says that that's a pointless spirituality, and we have a meaningful spirituality. Again, it's whatever. So this is it's through the tzaddikim that we're able to come to God. It's through the tzaddikim, it's through our connection to tzaddikim that we're able to say, wow, that means that it's something meaningful. That means there's something to really to connect with. And so he explains that the greatest deterrent to emunah, to emunah's chachamim. So this is why emunah's chachamim is so important, right? Emunah's chachamim, like, it's not enough to have faith in God. That it's critical to have faith in tzaddikim, to understand, to believe that there's such a thing as a tzaddik, to believe that there's such a thing as a righteous person, and that the Jewish people have tzaddikim. And this is why, like, so much of what we're learning, so much of what we're trying to connect with, is the words of the tzaddikim. You know, like there's like Baruch Hashem, like I love learning Chumash, I love learning Navi, but the majority of Torah is actually connecting to the words of the sages. It's actually connecting to the words of tzaddikim. Like all of the Chassidus and all of the Halacha and all of the Gemara. It's all. We're all trying to connect to Chassidus, to the sages, and we're trying to connect to God through the sages. And this is why I think I told you once that like, for some reason I once looked for a video of Rabbi Tovia Singer, who is the biggest anti-missionary YouTuber out there, and he's amazing. And so because I sometimes look at his videos, so all of the Christian videos, they pop up. So a lot of these Christian videos. So you know what they say? You know what their catch is? They say the myth of Torah Sheba'al Peh. The myth of Torah, and so what's up with that? That's where Christianity goes off. The Christianity, so the claim to believe in the written Torah, at least whatever. That's at some point Christianity believed in the written Torah. That was the big dispute between Peter and Paul. Okay, Paul, so he brought Christianity away from Judaism, and there's even a special there's a famous tradition that really Paul was really a spy from the Jews. You ever heard this? That Paul was really a spy from the Sanhedrin, that he was sent to infiltrate into the Christian church in order to make Christianity different than than Judaism, in order that it shouldn't be a threat. But anyway, but until Paul came along, so the Christians were believing in the Torah Shabbat, and they just weren't believing in Torah Shabbat. Okay, and this is the fundamental thing of Judaism, is the belief in Torah Shabbat. What is the essence of the belief in Torah Shabbat? The belief that a human being can actually come close to Hashem. Okay? This is really the belief in ourselves. Okay, the belief in ourselves. Yeah, they believe that a human being can be God, but anyway. So this is what the critical thing of Emunas Chachamim is, that our entire relationship to God is through Chachamim. It's through Chachamim. So the greatest deterrent to Emunas Chachamim, says Rav Nachman Chernobyl, is our ego. Is our ego. Because like we said before, that we say to ourselves that, hey, like, he's a human, I'm a human. Like, why should I listen to him? Like, he thinks that if you don't eat milk, if you eat milk less than 6 hours after meat, so then you're going to come to cook meat and milk together, and they're like, I'm okay, I think I'll manage. Like, why should I trust him? He's just a human being, and so I'm good. Like, I can trust myself. I don't need these fences. I don't need, and like, he thinks that it's a good. No, truth is, for some reason, like they pick and choose. Like Hanukkah, everyone loves Hanukkah. I met a girl once that her family didn't even keep Yom Kippur, but they kept Hanukkah. And so there's like, but Hanukkah is all about the sages. Hanukkah is about it's a holiday of the rabbis, that this is what we're celebrating. So it's our ego that separates us from Emunas Chachamim. It's our ego that holds us back from accepting authority, human authority. And we spoke about a couple of times ago that the truth is that it's also our ego that holds us back from Emunah in God. Because our ego doesn't want us to accept that there's something higher than us. Like, we like to feel that, like, I'm it. Like, I am the boss. I am the authority. And the concept of believing in God requires us to have a little bit of a lower profile, to believe that there is something higher than us. And it's the same thing that's holding us back from Emunas Chachamim. It's the same problem. It's the same problem which is holding us back from believing in the sages. And so he explains that the tikkun for this, the way to rectify this is specifically shiflut, is humility. Okay? It's specifically to understand that I don't know everything there is. I'm not the boss. I'm not the highest authority. I have what to learn, and this is where Emunah kicks in. Okay. So now, we mentioned before that Yaakov Avinu, so he represents that his whole essence is what to do when things are backwards, what to do when you're in the nighttime, what to do when you don't see the presence of God. And that's why that in this week's parsha, in next week's parsha, so a lot of what we see about Yaakov is that he has a really difficult life. Okay? And the truth is that there's a very deep history behind this. That, like, I once heard from Rav Pinkus that it's a very interesting thing. In last week's parsha, so Yaakov stole the blessings from Yitzchak, from Esav. He got the blessings from Yitzchak that they were supposed to be supposed to be Esav's blessings. Esav was the firstborn, and so Yitzchak wanted to give Esav the blessings of the firstborn, and Yaakov, so he in a very tricky way, so he was able to steal the blessings, and then he got the blessings. So you would think that after he got the blessings, then he would have a good life, right? And the truth is just the opposite. The truth is that right after he got the blessings, that is when all of his problems start. And from that day, so he starts having a really, really hard life. Like, first of all, Esav wants to kill him, so he has to run away. Then this week's parsha, he comes to Lavan, and Lavan keeps on tricking him, and he's having a very difficult time, and he wants to marry Rachel, and he gives him Leah, and then he comes back to Esav. Esav wants to kill him again, and then he has the 12 tribes, and then he loses his favorite son, Yosef, gets taken to Egypt, and then he's missing him, and it's a really, really hard life. And you would think that once I get the blessings, you would think the blessings would bring him to a good place, and the truth is just the opposite. The blessings seem to bring him to a bad place, which is really, really crazy. So Pinchas explained that there was supposed to be some kind of partnership between Esav and Yaakov. That and this is why Yitzchak loved Esav, because he knew that Esav was supposed to be the guy involved in the physical world, and Yaakov was supposed to be the one in the library. He was supposed to be the one in the books, in the Beis Medrash, the spiritual one, and Esav was supposed to be the one in the physical world. And Yitzchak appreciated Esav. Yitzchak appreciated that, that's cool. To stay in the Beis Medrash the whole day, to stay holy the whole day, that's sweet, that's cute. But what's really impressive is if you're able to go into Crack Square and be a religious Jew there. Okay, that was Esav's whole entity. That was what he was meant to do. The thing is that he messed up, that he went to Crack Square and became a crackhead. Okay? So at that point, it actually became incumbent on Yaakov to take a double role. And that's what really happened when he stole the blessings. What he was really stealing what he was really attaining was that from now on, the Jewish people are going to have a dual role in the world. First of all, they have to be so holy. They have to be deep in the Beis Medrash. They have to be in yeshiva and Sem, and to be so connected in their spiritual world. And at the same time, they have to be able to go out and be among completely secular people and be able to still bring God into every mundane action, every secular interaction, to bring God into a place that he's completely forsaken. And this became the double role of the Jewish people from that on. And this is what Yaakov took upon himself. And this is what, when we talk about Yaakov as being in the darkness, as being fighting the evil, as being on the battlefront against the forces of evil. So, and this is what Ma'ariv, this is the essence of the prayer of Ma'ariv. This is the essence of what it means to daven from a place of darkness. That even when it's dark outside, even when I don't see God's presence, I'm still connected. I'm not going to give up. I still call out to God. So this element of Yaakov, of finding God when God is not around. So there's another word that is really, that we have in Judaism, which is really connected to that. And we could really call this tshuva. This is tshuva. This is what's tshuva? That when you're off the deep end, so when you're in the middle of nowhere, when you're in the Albuquerque, New Mexico, they're like, how am I supposed to find God there? Right? So I have to, what? So it's returning to the source. Even the most detached places, even the most detached situations can return back. Okay? And that's what Yaakov is all about. So if we look at the essence of tshuva, so there's a very fascinating halacha. That is the essence of tshuva. What is the essence of tshuva? The essence of tshuva, it says in halacha, it says in the Torah as well. When it talks about tshuva in the Torah, so it says, how do you do tshuva? Confession. Vidoy. Vidoy is when the Torah talks about confession, about tshuva, so it talks about confessing before Hashem. And the interesting thing is that why is that the most important thing about tshuva? Right? The truth is that there's three parts. There's three parts to repent. There's three parts to doing tshuva. The Rambam writes that first of all you have to regret what you did. Second of all, you have to commit to being a better person, to not doing it again. And third, you have to confess to Hashem. You have to talk about it. So, I would have thought that the talking about it, the confessing, is really more of a small detail. I would think that the essence of tshuva is that committing to leading a better lifestyle, right? So why does the Torah and the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch, why did he put the focus on the Vida? Okay, so this is sort of Nachman Shonov explains something that I imagine, I don't know where he got this from, and I know that this Torah appears in Rabbi Nachman as well. So it was in the Beis Medrash of the Baal Shem Tov, and it comes in numerous places, and he explains as follows: that when a person is going against any particular mitzvah in the Torah, so what he's really doing is he's taking the words of the Torah and he's messing them up. In other words, that it says in the Torah, lo tignov, okay, don't steal. So when I don't have enough money on my Ravkav, and I go on anyway. When I knew a girl that like as a way of life, she didn't pay. So it was so disgusting. And I was taking her to Sam, and she was. If she didn't end up going, maybe if she would have wound up going, then she would have learned that that's not okay. But anyway, people that as a way of life, they so anyways, when you steal, there's lots of examples of people of stealing. If you break somebody's pen and don't tell them about it. Anyway, so when I steal, so it says in the Torah lo tignov, it says in the Torah don't steal, and so that mitzvah is really those letters of the Torah that say lo tignov. So they're supposed to be a part of me, and they're somehow giving me life. And when I'm going against them, when I'm disgracing them, when I'm desecrating these words, so I'm actually desecrating these letters. And everybody has a Torah that they're supposed to be writing. And when I'm messing up with this mitzvah, so the Torah that I'm supposed to be writing is a messed up Torah. Okay, it's a desecrated Torah. It's a Torah that's missing these words because when it's supposed to say lo tignov, so then in that place in my Torah, so then the words are messed up. Okay, the words are all just in the wrong order, and they're just like not there, splotched up. So how do I fix this? So the Baal Shem Tov teaches that this is the essence of Vida. This is the essence of confessing before Hashem. Because when I say before Hashem, this is why I need humility. To confess before God is really, it requires a bit of humility. And it says, I say that God, I recognize the fact that I messed up. I messed up because you told me not to steal, and I stole. Okay? So when I do this, so I'm saying these words of, you told me to not steal, so I'm mentioning the words of the Torah, and I'm doing it in a rectifying way, in a redeeming way. Okay? In a way of fixing. And that's how I get back these letters. Now my Torah is complete. Okay, so that's why the essence of tshuva is that when I sinned, so I took my Torah, the Torah which is the story of my life. So it was messed up in these words. These letters were messed up, and it's through the confessing, it's through the verbalization of the fact that my recognition is number one, it's the humility, and number two, it's the verbalization of the words of the Torah and bringing them back to life. Okay, so he explains that this is what tshuva is all about. So this is how he explains a very, very interesting pasuk. We say this in Shabbos Shuvah. So there's a pasuk, the pasuk that says that the pasuk in Hosea, Shuvah Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha, that return Jewish people until Hashem go, that return all the way to God. And then the next thing is Kichu imachim dvarim, and take for yourselves words. That the way to do tshuva is with words. Why? Because I skipped. So now this avoda of Yaakov Avinu, of bringing God's presence into even the most empty places, even the most detached places. So this is called legs. This is called feet. This is called raglaim. And that. So that there's a head and there's a feet. Okay, so being at the foot means being at the bottom. Okay, so it's really this is the Emunas Chachamim is all about the having strong feet, having the ability to really to have faith, not give up, even when I'm at the bottom. And this is based on a pasuk. It says in Yeshayahu that Hashem says that Hashemayim kisi v'haaretz hadam raglai, that the heavens is my chair and the land is my footstool. So God refers to this world as my footstool. Or in other words, that the physical world, the world where we are bringing God's presence into the mundane actions, into every interaction, even when we feel lost, even when we messed up, even when we've like God, I'm so unholy. How can you have a place for me? To recognize that there's place for God, even in the most impure person in the world. So that's called raglayim. That's called raglayim. That's like when Hashem is really stretching out His legs, to the furthest place, the place that you would never imagine that God would be able to get there. That's called raglayim. And that's the essence of tshuva. Tshuva is that when we get to these places that God isn't able to have His footrest. He's not able to get to the further places. And this is what it says that tshuva Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha ki kashalta ba'avanecha, because you've stumbled with your sins. So stumbling, how do you stumble? You stumble with your feet. You stumble when your feet aren't in the right place. Okay, when your feet trip, you don't trip with your hands. You don't trip with your chest. You trip with your feet. And hikashat b'avanecha is the recognition that the reason why I sinned is because there's something wrong with my legs. Okay, I need a new leg workout. Okay, this is the problem with leg workouts. Leg workouts is that the next day you can't walk. Right, so they have to.
I do something wrong.
So I'm messing up with my legs means that bringing God into, I have a problem with bringing God into the mundane. I have a problem with bringing God into the everyday things. So this is what Yakov represents. Yakov represents that Hashem's bringing Hashem's feet into the world, and that's why in next week's parsha, in Parshas Vayishlach, so we have this famous episode that Yaakov wrestles with this angel. With the angel of this badness, of evil, and he gets hurt on his leg. It says that the angel hits him on his leg, and he was limping. And from this, that we're suffering until today, because Yaakov had this. What's it mean? What's it mean that he was limping on his leg? In the ability, this is the biggest struggle of mankind. This is our biggest struggle of being Jews. Is that it's great when everything is whenever I'm feeling connected, and I'm feeling God, when I'm feeling God's blessings, when everything is sweet. So then I have no problem. My problem is, what do I do when everything is backwards? What do I do when I'm not feeling it? What do I do when I've been trying to get over my addiction for the past 5 years and it's just not working? When I tell myself, tomorrow I'm going to be better, and it's just when everything is backwards, when everything is like I feel like a loser. I feel like I'm in the darkness. That's what it means to have weak legs. To be the weak legs means being the bottom of the bottom. To have strong legs means the ability that even if I'm at the bottom, to jump back. And Rabbi Nachman once told the students that if you ever see me doing something wrong, let's say that one day, it's amazing that he would say such a thing to his students. If you would ever see me with some prostitute, if you would ever see me with so I promise you, the next day, rest assured that the next day I'm still the biggest rabbi that ever lived. Okay, that I can't promise you that I'll never mess up, but I can promise you that if I mess up, I know how to come back. That's my specialty. My specialty is that it doesn't matter how far, even if it ever, God forbid, even if I would ever fall to the furthest place, to the lowest place, but I know that I have very strong legs, so I'm able to jump back. Okay, and that's what's critical. That's the strength of Yaakov Avinu, and that's the hardest thing in Judaism. That's what's represented. That's the symbolism of when the angel of evil, when he was able to damage his legs. That's what it means. The ability to jump back when you're at the bottom, to be able to come back. That's the labiyut. That's the real struggle in Judaism. So that's what it means. Ki kashalta ba'avonecha, because you tripped. What does it mean? You tripped. Why do you trip? You trip with your legs, because you didn't have good legs. That's why you messed up. That's how you were able to come to sin, and the tikkun for that, the rectification for that is that kichui machim devarim, that you should take for yourselves, start talking about it, start the conversation, restart the conversation with God, and this is where vida comes in. This is where confession comes in, and to talk about your problems. This is why therapy. This is to keep it packed up, to keep it suppressed is not going to. You're going to be missing these words in your Torah forever. But to talk about it, to bring it out in the open, to be able to verbalize it, so that's rewriting your Torah in a proper way. So now he explains that all this is hinted to. All this is hinted to in the first pasuk of this week's parsha. It says Vayetzei Yakov mi Be'er Shava. Vayetzei Yakov mi Be'er Shava, that he left that Be'er Shava, Be'er, the well is referring to Torah. The Torah is referred to Be'er Mayim Chayim. It's a well of live waters, of like a spring. So the Torah is referred to as a spring of life. And so Vayetzei Yakov mi Be'er Shava, so is a reference that he's left, he went away from the Torah. Vayelech Charana, the word charon in Hebrew means anger. Charon af. It says v'chara af Hashem. That would refer to anger as chara. He went to the place of anger. Okay, he left the Beis Medrash. He left the place where everything is sweet, where everything is holy, and he went to the place where everything is conflict. He went to the place where everything is darkness. So what did he do? So it says vayifka b'makom. Vayifka b'makom. The first thing he does, vayifka b'makom, it says, Chazal say that this is a reference to davening. Vayifka b'makom ein pikiya l'tefillah, and it's from here that we learn that Yaakov was the first one to establish the tefillah of Ma'ariv. Okay, vayifka b'makom is the first thing you do. What did he do when he went to Haran, when he went to the place of darkness, went to the place of anger, of conflict? So vayelech Harana. Vayikach me'avnei hamakom. He took from the, and so then he wanted to go to sleep. So he took from the stones. So it says in the Sefer Yetzirah that letters are called stones. Otiyot are called avanim. Why? Because every letter is a building block. Because we create with our words, and so the letters are actually the building blocks of creation. So, he took the letters that he had messed up when he had gone off, he went off the deep end. So he took those letters, and he was able to elevate them. And Vayishkav, the Zohar says, Vayishkav means V'yesh Chavbet. And then there was 22 letters. Then the alphabet was perfect. Then he was able to perfect all of the holy letters that had gotten messed over, that had gotten put in the wrong place. Vayachalom, and he had a dream. Okay, we said that this is the month of dreams. So Vayachalom, that Vayachalom in Aramaic, Lachlim means, in Hebrew, Lachlim, besides dreaming, means to? Sleep? No. Lahachlim means to heal. Okay? So it's the same word. To dream, a dream, we heal through our dreams. All of our traumas that are stuck down, and they come up and they heal us through our dreaming. So Vayachalom, how was he able to heal himself? That there was a ladder, that its feet were at the bottom, and its head went up to the heavens. V'hinei malach Elokim olim v'yadim bo. And the angels of God, so we're going up and going down. And so this is the story of the beginning of the parsha, that he went to the darkest place. He went to the place where everything is dark, everything is messed up, everything is backwards, and he didn't give up. He was able to have a tefillah. Because he was able to have a tefillah, because he was able to talk about it, he was able to heal himself. And once he was able to heal himself, then he realized that I needed to be here. I needed to be here because the ladder going to heaven, you know where it starts? It only starts at the bottom. That if you're not going to be at the bottom, so you're not going to be able to get to the top. And it's only because I was able to leave, it's only because I was able to get to the arts, it's only because I was able to get to the bottom of my legs, to feel my toes, to feel my externals, my extremities. I was able to feel my extremities. That's how I was able to jump back up. Okay? That because I was able to get to the bottom. And that's because I was able to get to the bottom. Then I was able to put my ladder, and my ladder was able to bring me all the way to the top. Okay, so this is really what Yaakov Avinu is all about. This is what Judaism is all about. Okay, it's all about that. It's not so bad to be at the bottom, because when you're at the bottom, so you're just one step closer to getting to the top. And it's really what we spoke about on Wednesday, about the sometimes you have to really reach the rock bottom. If you don't reach the rock bottom, then you're never going to get it. And Yaakov Avinu is teaching us that's where we're able to put your ladder, able to really that you needed to get there. If you wouldn't have got to the bottom, then you wouldn't have been able to make it to the top. So, this is true on a personal level, this is true on an individual level, this is true on a national level. That right now, the only way, we have to, we want Geula, we want Mashiach, we want the world to be a perfect place. And how do we get to perfection? We have to go through wars. We have to go through such a messed up reality. We have to get through the horrors of being of these animalistic enemies, of these evil people they've completely lost their Tzelem Elokim, they're being in the embodiment of God, and it's I don't know if things are going to have to get better or worse before they get better. If we have to go, in order to Mashiach is going to be here, we have to have that a World War III, and we're living in crazy times, and we don't know what's going to be. We don't know how this world is going to end. We don't know what's going to be the end. But we know that in order for things to get good, they have to get messed up, and this is and that's what. And that's what makes it holy. That's what makes it. That's what really justifies it, and that's what really makes that all of these holy soldiers that are risking their lives. They all know this. They all know that it's ugly. Ugly is war. That war is really ugly, and it's really tragic that people have to be in this situation. But they know that we're actually making something on an eternal level, that we're actually making the world into a better place. And so B'ezrat Hashem, we should really be able to see very clearly how that the world is slowly becoming a little bit better, and a lot better, and that we should be able to really destroy the evil from the world, and we should see how the world is becoming into a better place, and this should really pave the way for the Geula Shlema with Mashiach. B'ezrat Hashem.